man.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. How everything going on your end?
Man, we're good. We're blessed. We're busy, not trying to be productive, not just busy. But I wanna appreciate you. I wanna say thank you for all you put in, man. I see, man. I'm tired. You made me tired, bro. Nah, but I mean, it takes dedication. It takes a lot, and everybody don't know that. Um, that it's more than just talk. It takes grinding. It takes dedication. It takes, like you say. I mean, you cover it all. Dedication, consistency. So, and that's what it takes. And I appreciate. I can appreciate that. Um, I can definitely appreciate it. But yeah, I'm just here. I'm trying to get this set up. Sorry,
You
but I
good?
have I have I have a few questions for you. But so I'm Kai. I'm here in Austin. We have a little shop. Uh, we do a lot of. I mean, we're all over the board. Really, just walking through the doors that open, right?
Hmm.
And so this is where we're at. We do some structural, a lot of railing right now. That's kind of where we're at. Um, but just again, we walk through the doors that open, man. And uh, so I'm sure you got your take on that. But I just want to kind of introduce yourself for me and tell me what how who you are and where did HogOn come from? Where that derived from? And I'm messing
Okay.
with this, so I'm listening, I'm paying attention, but I'm trying to get this other thing.
Okay, no problem. For those who don't know, um, my real name is Joe Brown. I go by Black Phoenix. Um, HogOn Welding was actually created from from a from an independent um, artist standpoint. I always been independent when I grind, and I'm from Arkansas, so I was born in Little Rock, but it has nothing to really do with me being a hog. I'm from a hog land, but that wasn't where I got the concept from.
Yep.
The concept of the hog, which I got my shirt on, the concept of the hog really, um, it goes, it means, it have two different significant meanings. The first one is hustling over grounded obstacles naturally, because we're going to face things in life when we're building our independence, when we're finding who we are, when we're serving God, when we're walking the path. You're going to find things that's going to be there that you can't avoid. You're going to have to learn even going to climb the mountain, or you're going to have to go around the mountain. You know what I'm saying? Or you get the right equipment, you can go through the mountain. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's
But
right.
you're going to have to realize that that's going to be things like that you're going to have to face.
Yeah.
So hog on means regardless of what you face, hog on, do it anyway. Figure out a way.
Yeah.
Because, I was always taught that we should not only just pray until something happens, but we should push until something happens. We're going to
Yeah.
have to continue the process, continue the struggle. See, people think that we can just pray and sit back and it's going to fall in our laps, but it's still the process. You know, even out throughout the scriptures, it talks about actions. Word without actions is vain. I mean, it goes together. You can't have the word and with not having actions. You know, you got to be able to show it. So to me, hog on meaning that I'm just showing my struggle, or showing who I am by constantly overcoming whatever I got to face. Whatever it is I got to go through, I'm gonna be a hog with.
Right.
I'm gonna overcome. And the second significant meaning of hog on stands for honoring our generation ornamental nature, meaning I'm honoring all those who like to build with their hands. So from a trade standpoint, it means for those who like to build,
Gotcha.
whatever standpoint you do, whatever trade you in, I honor that. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
I look, because I love to build, so I represent all builders. So it doesn't matter what shade you are. I know that I can get some information and some game and some wisdom from a master builder. It's what it is. Those are
Yeah.
facts.
Right.
So I like to pay homage, and I don't think that enough people pay homage enough. A lot of people, especially this, they'll get something and try to act like they came up with it. Why?
Yeah.
You know, if you didn't come up with, at least pay homage, say, this is where I got this from. You just critiqued it. You might did it a little different than what they started, but I think you should still pay homage and say, I wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for them, you know. And I think we get away from that too. So, you know, representing the hall, man, it's just like, you know, just paying homage and overcoming whatever you're going through. And I'm independent. So for those who know, you know, I've been independent pretty much all my life, but I worked jobs. I got incarcerated when I was 15, pretty much, but I got went to prison when I was 16, and I did a decade. So I got out of prison when I was 26 years old. And while I was in prison is where, you know, I engrafted welding. That's where I got my education from. Actually, my mom introduced it to me when I was 17 and told me about Tulsa Welding School that she seen on TV. And back then, you know, we didn't have Google back then, so she went to the library and printed out some paperwork and sent me like a thick copy. So I was reading and seeing welders weld and talking about the prices and what they do and what they travel. So I conditioned my mind to fantasize that this is what I need to do. But my mom introduced it to me because I was raised in an environment of hustlers. Like, that was my environment. So she knew I wasn't going to get no regular job. It wasn't going to happen because I'd already seen money. At 15 years old, I had a Benz already. So there wasn't no way I'm finna get out and go work at McDonald's. It just wasn't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? I just seen money. So I was familiar with nice things being young, you know, but I still had to work for it. It wasn't like it fell in my pocket, don't get me wrong. Even though it was wrong, I still had to make sacrifices. I still took risks, you know, so I was familiar with that process of taking risks. But the people that gave me the information, that was the environment we in. So they couldn't give me anything better but what they had. And that's the best thing they had to give me, was how to survive. And to them, that was the best jewels they could hear me say, hey, I don't know nothing else, but I can teach you how to feed your family.
Yeah.
That's what it was. You know what I mean? That's how I looked at it. It wasn't, let me look good. It was, let me take care of your family. I can teach you that, you know?
Yeah.
So I went from that, man. And like I say, I embraced that. And I kind of took it from there, from being in prison. Like I say, I went to Votech, the combination of welding for like 14 months. So I do have a lot of welding educational background with me. So I went to combination of welding for 14 months, and I did TIG, MIG, and stick in all positions. Well, 4 positions. We didn't do 5G and 6G. We just did 4 positions. And then, like I say, once I got out of that class, I actually started working in prison as a welder. So then I was getting experience in there too. So I was working on maintenance. So I was steady sharpening my skills, because for those who don't know, pretty much prison do everything independent. They're gonna build something, make something, grow something, everything. They got their whole system. So I just got a job doing what I did, so that way I could, you know, critique what I was doing until I got out, you know. So once I got out, it just gave me a bigger head start. You know, I didn't have to struggle. You know, literally, I didn't have to struggle like most people get out. Like, man, I'm gonna do, like, literally my first day, I got out on a Friday. I had a job that Friday. Like, I got out that Friday, I was on interviews that Friday. Most people would have got out and went kicked it and went did something. Nah, I went straight to some interviews the same day. And I had a job to start the Monday. So I got out Friday, got a job that would start Monday. Then I went and started, you know, enjoying my lady, and you get me something to eat, and, you know, and then I started doing all that. But I wanted to say something specific about the hog too, for those that don't get more familiar about a hog. A hog is wild, you know, and that's another reason why I embrace it. A hog is wild. It's not domestic like a dog. Me personally, I stress independence. So when I do seminars, I teach people how to use a job to start their own business. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I believe in. So I teach how to turn a trade into a business. So I always say that if you're gonna, you know, everybody is different, but if you got it in your heart to be a boss, you can't be a dog, because a dog gonna wait on someone else to feed it. You can treat a dog wrong, it'll bark his tail and still obey. You say, well, hope master do me right tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? And then he'll steal, and you know what I mean? Like, that's how it works. But a hog, if you hit a hog, you better know how to fight. You better have some weapons around you. You see what I'm saying? Because it's not going to go for no anything. You see what I'm saying? And it's not going to wait on you to feed it. Once I get hungry, I'm going to hit the ground and make it happen. I'm not going to ask Joe Blow, Ken, John, none of that. I'm gonna go make it happen. And if you just so happen to want to help me, hey, I'm willing to work with you, but I'm not willing to work for you. That makes sense. And that's one thing that a hog is, you know what I mean? So I like to tell people that, you know, I say, hey, they're like, oh man, you work with, I said, oh, I got some good people that I work with, but I don't work for nobody. I said, because I have witnessed how people, and I know even you yourself, you have witnessed how when you working under somebody, it's some type of mentality where it just comes naturally for them to start treating you like you are beneath them. And I don't care what job I had been on, I've always felt that. You know what I'm saying? Like it'll get to some point where they'll do something or respond or say something, and I'm supposed to tuck my tail because it's a job. And to me personally, I just don't believe that. That's why I'm a hog. You know what I'm saying? I believe that I'm gonna treat you the same way you treat me. Point blank period. Okay. But I'm gonna give you one thing. I'm gonna give you respect first. And that's what I believe. I'm gonna give it to you first. And once you violate that, I'm gonna instantly take it from you, and you'll know why I took it from you. You know what I mean? So that's how I'm cool. I always put everything on the table. Hey, I'm gonna treat you right. I'm gonna greet you right, whatever. But once you show me love, I'm gonna show you I'm a hog. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's just.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I just sum that up like that and let you go with it.
Yeah. No, that's good. I just like to kind of hear, you know, some background to it. You know, I see it, and you know, my interpretation and what I see, you know, I just like to get us some background on what it is. And I get it. You use the term independent a lot. Being down here, I mean, have you been around union?
Yes, I have been around. I don't believe in union.
Okay, so I just because that kind of, yeah, that's because we don't really, I mean, yeah, there's unions for different trades and even in welding around here, but that's not, you know, it's not a big thing in much around here as far as, you know, from my experience, I'm sure you can get in all that, but I just, you know, just hearing that's a word that you use a lot, and independent-minded, you know, I mean, I've just been growing up with probably kindred spirits in that, you know, I was always off to myself, doing my thing, my wheels rolling, trying to come up with the plan, you know. I can relate to that aspect. The other thing is, you know, people, especially being incarcerated, the term getting a job, that's forced. That's what's planted. You know, that's what's planted. In
exactly.
People.
It's a seed.
And,
exactly.
And that's one thing, because we do prison ministry, and one thing that I try to bring is, hey, let's work on a career. Let's find you a career. Let's go that route. Let's change the terminology and let's change the focus, because just like you said, if somebody try to put you in a job, it's not going to come close to, and you're not going to be promised that lifestyle that you're accustomed to or close to it. So
it's not going to happen.
Yeah. So and that's the failure of the system, or the failure of us, however you want to put it, you know, because we're responsible. Ultimately, we're responsible for that. So,
and honestly, I want to say this real quick before you, not mean to cut you off, but just so I can say this point, because after something you said, if you've been to prison, and I'm just gonna give you my personal opinion on it.
mm-hmm.
If you are I don't care what race you are, if you have been to prison, you are a felon. The system are designed not to make you win once you get out. You're just gonna get back. That's what you're gonna do. So if you're just thinking about getting a job and paying bills, you're gonna get back. That's what's gonna happen. So if you want to get by and just have that life, that's really what's gonna happen. You're gonna have to do a lot of selling. You know how people say, oh, you don't sell, you're gonna have to do a lot of tail tucking and a lot of selling. If that's the life you want to live, then to each his own. But I feel like everything should be a stepping stone. You should use that earned income to start investing in your passive income, so that way you can later close that door, because that was just it was like, to me, a job is like a child learning how to walk.
Yeah.
Once we learn how to walk, we're gonna stumble, we're gonna fall, it's gonna take a minute. But once we get it, it's a no-brainer. You know what I'm saying? And to me, I think that once people get the system of a job, that's when it's time to quit a job and start your own. Yeah. But you have to get the understanding, how to be in how to run it, get the concept of it. But most times we so concerned about the clock. See, the clock messes us up. Man, it's time to go. I got to punch out. Yeah. I got a 40-hour week. I don't want to do no more. Because most of the time you get out, most people, they don't want to do nothing because they had to do so much in that 40-hour where all they want to do to get off is to be free. I just want to watch TV. I just want to relax. I'm tired of people yelling at me. I just want to sit. I don't want to think about nothing. It's too hard to try to start a business. You know what I'm saying? Honestly. Yeah. So, you know, when you said that, it just made me think about that. I just wanted to make that point because we're going to have to think outside of the box. And you're just going to have to just weigh it all out to say, what do you want? What do you want? And if you have already been struggling, it shouldn't be nothing to it to struggle a little bit longer, but you ain't got to do it no more.
Yeah, it's for real. Yeah. So and in that sharing that, because I commend you because you planted seeds while you were there, you know, and the right seeds. You had to focus, but that's a struggle. That's one thing that I found is that it's a struggle, personal struggle to find that purpose, to find a lane to get in, because especially when you're in there and there's, you know, you're all over the board. I don't know, you know, so you have so many options because you're in that dream mode. You're in that dream mode. You got a blank slate. Man, what am I going to do when you start getting your plan? One, that you're getting a plan together. That's one of the keys to success upon getting out. But then the other part is that, hey, you picked a lane, you worked on it, and you dug in, you know, and I didn't have the whole plan, you know, and it's because a plan, a vision, a God-given vision is fleeting. A lot of people don't understand that. You can get it, and that's why Habakkuk talks about get the vision and make it plain, write it down and make it plain so that he may run. Right?
Amen. Hey, amen, brother.
So what happens is, because we're in a good spiritual state sometimes, and we're like, man, we focused, we're locked in spiritually, and we get that vision. We're like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. But you know what? 6 months later, and you kind of that hunger and that desire, you kind of, you know, wavered. You didn't stay focused on it, and then you think, and you like, but that subject of purpose comes back around. And you're like, man, I just had the purpose, but I didn't write it down. I don't even remember what it was. What was my purpose? Now I got to go through that whole process again of seeking out God. And, you know, so I've been through that. And then, like I said, I didn't get the head start. Now, I never accepted where I was at. You know, that was never an issue when I was incarcerated. I never accepted that, hey, this is where I belong. That mindset was never there, you know. But as far as a focus and a purpose, this just came about. It was God taking it full circle, because in high school I learned a trade. Right after high school, I had an opportunity to be in the trade, but I was chasing that golden egg, trying to hustle and trying to get it even quicker, maybe not easier, but a little quicker, a different way. But it was all lined out, and then so I had to go through a whole episode, and then here I am back at it, you know. So, you know, glory to him. But anyway, so yeah, so real quick, I don't want to keep y'all all morning. One thing I want to share with everybody, because I see your post, bro. What name your all your, I mean, it's HogOn everything. HogOn, at HogOn. Go ahead and share them for me.
HogOn Welding on Instagram, HogOn Welding on Facebook, HogOn Welding on LinkedIn, HogOn Welding on Twitter. And on those who just want to follow me on my personal, or my artist side, which I share everything, my music and my welding stuff, is Black Phoenix. So it's Black Phoenix, FENIKS, on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. So pretty much the same. But the main one that I use a lot to produce and give content is my HogOn Welding blog, and that's on YouTube. So for those who want to check that out, check out the HogOn Welding blog.
Okay. And what's the difference between the blog and just your channel?
Honestly,
same thing as just okay.
It's pretty much the same thing, but on my blog, which is I call my blog, which is pretty much my YouTube, my Instagram is like my blog, really.
Okay.
And then my channel is more of my YouTube. But what I do is I go more like in my blog, I go more personal about, I give more insight of who I am. I say more about my thoughts because I like to keep that, people ask me, well, why you don't have a just straight business page or just straight business without sharing thoughts? Well, I'm independent again. So I want to break the curse of how you got to do things. People think you got to have two. Oh, I got to be professional here. I got to separate this. I'm going to show you that you ain't got to do that. People love you by being you. So I'm going to be me. And, I'm going to show you this. I'm going to show you this, but I'm going to show you the process and just who I am thinking of the person. So just because I see something you don't like, if I don't like it, I can just keep strolling. That's you as a person. I got to embrace that. Like, there's no need for me not to hate what you say because that's I don't agree to it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I feel like in order for me to reach certain people, I have reached more good people with just my organic thoughts than me trying to be business.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
So, and I get more great business relationships from me just being me than I do from trying to critique everything and get everything right and professional and then let me deliver it then. Because then it even seemed like a strip. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It seems like, man, this is made up. Ain't no heart in this. So I try to kill two birds with one stone. I try to kill a few birds. I know you done heard the saying before. I try to kill several birds with one stone. And I believe there, like the Old Testament says, there's a time for everything under the sun. So I do have a separate entity for HogOn Welding that's just gonna show just nothing but business stuff. So you can go when the website is up, but it's still getting worked on. Okay. But it's just gonna have just straight, products, services, what I do. But it'll also have a link where you still, if you want to know more about the person and the owner, you can still have a link to know more about me on a personal level. Because I believe that having a product or a service, people buy into brands. Mm-hmm. And they buy into brands that they can relate to, that they are familiar with, that they have actually know that works, that others have proven, and they actually see the process. So a lot of people that I network with, even with business, they have seen me playing around on my Instagram, just playing around. It's like, man, but I like your hustle because you'll play around, but you'll show, hey, this is what I'm doing. Because in life, it's not all of, you don't be serious all the time, So I just want to have a balance of it. I just think that a lot of times you even see people, I know you done seen this. You even see a person, he act like he all for God, where he don't do nothing but breathe Jesus when he wake up and when he go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? And then you got the person that you can tell that this is what he is, but he a man too. You see what I'm saying? He ain't trying to act like he's holier than thou. Yeah. Hey, I'm flawed like you. I can sin like you. Matter of fact, until I reach him, I'm just like you. I'm just close enough to him when he's actually talking to me and I'm listening more, but I'm no better than you. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And so I just want to cut that down. I kind of remove that cloth of feeling like, oh, I'm here and you can't get up here because I'm like, nah, I'm here too. I'm just like you. The only thing that makes me different, and this is what I tell people because it's funny. Some people on my Facebook or my personal, some friends that I know, they'd be like, man, you think, you done got to this point, man, you think you're better than us now? And I said, nah, never have I ever once said that. I laugh. I said, nah. I said, evidently you think I'm better than you. That sounds like a personal issue. Yeah. And that's what people do. And that's what people do. People will look at you and they'll make he must think, when is he gonna quit? Well, why is he doing it that way? Like they'll get upset, man.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, and the calculation and the last thing I wanted to touch on and tell people again, because I see you, and the reason I asked you to share your handles on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, is because I follow you, and I don't even remember where I ran into you, but I was intrigued, and I'm intrigued by the challenge because I take it as a challenge, and it's not a competition thing because We on the
Thank
same,
you.
we on the
Thank
same mission, same path, but I can take what you do, what you've done, and what you got the energy to do. And I'm like, shoot, if he got the energy to do it, I need to step my game up. You know,
That's what
so
it's about, man. Iron
and so
sharpens iron.
yeah, so that's why I contacted you. That's why I contacted you. That's the first
And
thing
I
I told you when
appreciate
I
that,
reached
bro.
out. You know,
Oh,
and so
I sense the same thing from you too, man. That's why, you know, once I see somebody on, you didn't have to tell me. See, that's another good thing about an observer. And another good thing about when you know you're in the presence of another good brother they got a spirit of God in them, just honestly. You don't have to say anything. You didn't have to say, hey, man, what you share so-and-so. Once I seen you and I seen what you're doing, I instantly did it because I seen your mission. You didn't have to influence me. You didn't have to spam me or nothing. I seen your mission. And I feel like that's what we have to do as brothers, as the people we have to, once you see your person is woke, you shine the light and say, hey, we over here eating too. He's awake now. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we know that those that are asleep, brother, we can't wake them up. You ever heard that old saying, if you wake up a sleepwalking, he might hurt you in himself?
Mm-hmm.
And that's real. And see, that's what we try to do. We'll get the word from God and we get excited about the word. And we want to share the word with everybody, correct? We want to wake up the world. We want to save everything. And then you get to do it and you realize that everybody don't want to be saved.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody don't want to listen. And then you know what happens to us most of the time? We get a little bitter. Instead of getting bitter, instead of getting better, we get bitter. And then we say, you know what? I'm done. I'm done talking. Then we turn into Jonah. Then we turn to God, I'm going a different direction. I'm done. Forget it. They ain't going to listen to me anyway. You see what I'm saying? That's what, because we just stay focused on what he actually wants us to do. See, we were just supposed to be, we are the light. Remember, he keeps saying, we are the light, the light, the light.
Mm-hmm.
Light, what do it does? It shines. Point blank, period. And you just made a statement that said, I was intrigued by your light, by what you was doing. I wasn't just boast, embrace it. Man, it's something about, and once you got more in depth, you're like, man, I like what he's doing. This can help me improve what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. That's because that's what my purpose was. I didn't know how God was going to use me, but I said, God, use me. I'm a light. And I shine to you. I don't have no limitations who I shine for. Exactly. I just know, hey, God, I want to help my people now. This is my skin. I got to help us. But I want you to use me the same way Christ said, hey, I'm sitting here for you. But if you don't want me, I'm going to give it to them. Yeah. That's the same way I'm doing. I'm just going to be plain. I'm not going to change. That's why I never changed my culture, my beard. And most people, when they see me, they say, oh, he might just like this. He might. But once I speak, they're like, oh, shit, he ain't like that at all. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He really, but I did that on purpose, just to show them that don't judge a book by a cover. Yeah. But I didn't know, because you're going to judge it anyway. And I'm cool with that. I embrace that. I embrace the fact that until I die, I'm going to be considered as a field Negro. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. I'm cool with that. But while I'm embracing that, I'm going to be a good one at it. Yeah. I'm going to be independent at it. I know how you view me. That's fine with me. And while you view me like that, I'm going to take advantage of it because I know I can work good in the field. I am good at what I do, so I'm going to utilize that. That's fine with me. So I think sometimes we get caught up trying to put ourselves in places that we're not belonging, but we want to get there. And then once you get there, you just stress yourself out because the people really don't want you there. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not going to, even though I got $1 million, I'm not going to go move to that $1 million neighborhood so they can look at me crazy so I can say I'm over there with them. I don't care about that. I'd rather come over here and be a millionaire. Have me shack in the woods. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, that's just how I view it. But, to me, I think if I get my energy that way, then I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing as far as helping people that I don't know and organically meeting people and having conversations like, having dialogues like we having, because I just believe in just being a light. Yeah. And once I stopped trying to wake people up, I started helping more. And so now I'm insensitive when it comes to emotional. I mean, I did 10 years in prison, so I'm not a real empathy type of person. I believe in make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, how people like to cry. I don't know what I'm gonna do. My head, make it happen. That's what I believe in. So you're not gonna get too much of that from me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm gonna look at you as like, make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Because I was in a situation where I only had 2 choices: survival, or excuse my French for those who watching, get fucked. That's what it was. It wasn't nothing else. You gonna survive or you gonna be something else. That's what it was. Yeah. So it made me realize that's the same principle we got to look at life. You got to stop making excuses for yourself. What you do is say, instead of saying, I can't say, and how can I? Okay, I ain't got the money right now, but how can I get it? Oh, you tell me I go over and get this second job and I can do this and get, okay, that's how I'm gonna do that then. I can't do it right now, but I'll be back in a minute. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how we got to look at it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, and again, for myself and for others that are coming up, that are watching, that are trying to emulate what you're doing, what I'm doing, and again, I speak for myself in this too, is, hey, I'm not trying to keep up with the Joneses here. It's not about keeping up with the Joneses. It's about, implementing the things that we can, but not killing ourselves trying to, hey, I got to do everything. Man, he building these containers now. Oh man, I got to go get me a shipping container. It's not about that. It's not about that, but it's about, so we have to, I just want to encourage, again, I'm speaking to myself, but I'm speaking to anybody that's listening, because they'll see it and they're like, man, I need to be where he's at. So let me jump all in. But it was a process to get there. For me, it was a process to get here. It was starting in my garage. It was starting off the truck, off my one-car garage, the neighbor trying to run me out the neighborhood, and all that, until now we got a shop. And, so now he's like, oh, okay. He was really serious about that. That type, he looked at me a little different now. But but the whole point is, you don't have to do everything that the next person is doing. Go ahead, whatever lane you're in, man, shine in that lane, fulfill that lane, and then when the next download comes, when that next door opens, man, walk through it and challenge yourself, but don't overextend yourself, because then you start losing. You're gonna start
losing
everything.
Then that's when you lose I'm gonna tell you. Let me say something real quick. That's when Peter started to sink. See, Peter walked on water. He did exactly what God said he could do. But once he started looking at the winds, he started thinking about where he was at. He's like, man, I'm on the water. Man, look at the boat back there. Then he got to panicking. And what happened? He started praying. He said, Lord, save me. And God reached out and grabbed him. But he did that to show us, to me, that story let us know that you can't be fearful and take your eyes off your goal. You're going to always have things going around you that's going to look like it's impossible, But it's not, like you said, I want to make a strong point. It's not trying to do what the next person's doing and you think, oh, I'm just going to get started. I need to do all of this. Man, he's doing all of that or she's doing all of this. Nah, I realize this is the goal, man. It's a guide. It's a model. You know how you get something like a blueprint, it says, use the print as a guide. It's not direct, because once you get there, the wall might be a foot off, or this might be over here. You know how we do field work, and you look at the print, and you like, hold up, this ain't like it, because it's a guide. But once we got the knowledge, we say, okay, now we use the print, but we're gonna have to venture off the print, what we call RFIs. We got to do an RFI on this one. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I mean? So we're gonna have to do some adjustments, but we just using it as a guide. So when you see someone who inspires you, who you want to be like, who you feel like that is going in the direction you want to go, don't try to be like them. Use them as a guide to get to where you want to go. Yeah. That way you don't wear yourself out. You don't worry about they posting every day. I can't do that. I don't even have enough hours in the day. Don't worry about what they doing. Worry about what you doing. Yeah. But use it as a guide to say, you know what? I ain't been posting number once every 2 weeks. You know what? I'm gonna start doing it once a week now. And then maybe next week I'm gonna start doing it once every 3 days. And then forget it. Maybe after a month, I got the hang of this thing. I started doing it once every day. You see what I'm saying? And you see what I'm saying? That's how it goes. Because we're not gonna feel like grinding every day. I know sometimes you wake up, you have to push yourself. Yeah. But one thing for sure, you have developed the discipline to get out the bed anyway. You see what I'm saying? And that's what we got to have. We're gonna have to have the discipline to know that even though it's rough right now, it's gonna be better a little while on. So that's what we just got to realize. So I feel like what you said, that people can't get caught up in looking at someone and getting discouraged or judging how they got there. Just use it as a guide. And one great thing that I'm glad I did, and brother, I'm gonna tell you something. I did this not even knowing what I was doing. When I started, if you go back to my first video, when I started posting videos on YouTube, I said that I want to show you my journey. just organic. If a person go back, they're gonna see everywhere I started. Coming, making parts in the desert, right on the sand, outside in the rain, trying to come up with something. Going through different bad jobs, getting mad at one job because what they did and telling the story. Like, I'm showing you the process. So once you finally see, if you see me in this level, you're like, damn, I'm there. How you gonna go back and see 3 years of struggling, 3 years of walking through the wilderness, 3 years. You see what I'm saying? So I had to walk. You know how they say the footprints in the sand. I wasn't by myself. Because Lord knows I wouldn't have made it. You know what I'm saying? So it was 3 years I had to walk through that process. And so what I realized that even while I was doing it, many times I wanted to say, forget it, man, I'm done. You know, many times. You know, many times my wife had to lift me up. Come on, we done made it too far. You know what I'm saying? No lie, I got tired. I said, man, baby, I can walk far as I can walk.
I get you.
You know what I'm saying?
Totally
hey, bro, I'm telling you. I had been on jobs. I taught my wife how to weld and how to fabricate. So my wife, you know, she's a pretty girl, so she don't mind welding, but she loves to fit pieces. So she like to cut them and make them and get, you know how you got somebody cut all your pieces right off. You ain't got to worry about nothing. If it's supposed to be 7 foot 3/16, that's what it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? I love her for that. But she kept me, and I remember we was doing a job, and I was telling the guy, you know, you get around, they see a girl working this and this. Man, you think she gonna tuck some pieces right? I said, I didn't even say nothing. I said, they gonna be all right. He gave us some measurements. She cut them. We go up here doing them. He complained, oh, this thing ain't work. I said, what you telling? Because you had to write it down. I told her it was so-and-so, so-and-so. We looked on the paper. No, you didn't. You told her it was this. She wrote what you told her. Then he looked like, oh man, that was my fault. Because she made it exactly what you told her. So I'm really glad that I taught her those work ethics. You know what I mean? Because I taught her to work like a carpenter. I said, say, always measure twice, then cut once. Just in case if the tape measures get hemmed up or you moving too fast, just check it again. You know? So many times I've been wanting to walk off a job and she said, baby, this money too good. Just go to the car, I'm gonna figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, so I've been there, man. So all I want to say is, if a person want to really see the struggle, that's what I wanted to do.
Go through those.
My goal was to really live to be remembered. And you know how the Egyptians, you know how we go back and still go to the Egyptian pyramid and still, to this day, they still picking up artifacts and still talking about it. That's why I did my blog like that, my channel like that on YouTube. Because I wanted to live to be remembered. Not just for what I did, not just for, oh, he did this or what. Nothing about that. How I survived and how I went through it. That's the point. That's what's going to be potent, what I went through. You know what I'm saying? How I didn't give up. And to me, I think that's going to be the greatest thing that people, when you see someone famous or see someone celebrity, you only see they started, they there. You know what I'm saying? They there, and then they tell you some crazy. You're like, why did they say this? No, I didn't never wanted to be puffed up about anything. You know what I mean? I just want to be realistic. This is what it is. And if I got here off work ethics, or I did. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not ashamed. You know how a pastor out of Dallas, T.D. Jakes, always he wrote a book when I was locked up that I read. It was one of the first books I ever read too. First books I ever read in my life. Period. He wrote a book called Loose That Man and Let Him Go. That book changed my life. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I read that book like it was the Bible. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it real with you because I learned how to read in prison. So that book helped me critique my reading because he was throwing words out every other sentence. I had to look it up and figure out how to say it. But he didn't do that just to say how smart he was. It was intriguing. Like you said, I was. It was. I wanted to know. So, and then it showed me so much that I used that to help create the man I am. Just like everybody used something, you know. And even though I might not ever meet that brother, you know what I mean? He saved me in a time where I couldn't find myself. And I'm gonna be honest with you. That book was given to me by a friend who, when he was first coming out, said, check this guy out. I thought about you. Sent it to me. You know, actually a prison minister sent it to me. He's come through and passed stuff. He's seen it. He's seen what direction I was going. Tried his book out. And I told him, man, I just started reading. He said, yeah, just take your time with it, you know. And that's what I did. I was at the early mornings with a dictionary trying to figure it out, asking somebody, hey, man, how you say this? You know, like I really wanted to know. Like I started from scratch. So everything I talk about, my intellect, whatever I got, I really had to learn it. I had to reprogram myself. So if I would say anything to somebody that's trying, if you got the messed up mentality, it's going to be a process to reprogram. So just know that you're going to have to change this before you get this. Just what it is. You got to change the way you think before you get the money. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, man, I'm gonna let you go. I appreciate it. Again, my last point was that don't fall into the trap of trying to make it a competition, trying to keep up. You know, step your game up in your capacity, but you don't have to get it all at once. And because you'll get burned out, you'll fall flat. And you know, and again, I've shared some things. I think I've shared at least one thing kind of with you as far as the buffer, you know, because I called you and I asked you because I'm like, man, I got to see how is this going on, and as far as, you know, your posts and whatnot, I'm like, man, that's a lot, man.
And I let you know I was going.
You got a network going on over there, but you know, so a tool, so there is a tool available for you that can help relieve some of that, you know, give you a little bit more time.
It's great that you say that, because I looked it up the other day when you first sent it to me. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna check it out, but I never got a chance to run around and check it out. But I actually have seen some like that. Was similar, where you actually can do one thing and it'll help share it on all networks.
Yeah, you can do it on. That one particular, you can only put 10 at a time, but you can put 10 at a time. So if you do one every hour, you can do a day, you know, almost a day's worth of posts, you know. So that's what I've been doing. The different formats you got to change, you know, there's intricacies to it, you know, you'll figure it out, but
you have to learn it.
It's a tool, but it's a tool to kind of relieve some of that, you know. So you're not, you know, you're not having to stop, and you know what I mean. That again, I don't know the process if you're doing it, somebody else doing, but I just saying, somebody can sit down. I usually sit down in the morning and try to lay out some things for the day, at least for the first part of the day, and then some active stuff that we've done throughout the day, then I'll put those towards the end of the day. You know, that's kind of how I've been trying to do it. But again, it's just a tool.
But see, the cool thing is it's all organic, man. We got to just try it.
Yeah.
And then you know what's the crazy part about it? You're going to find your sweet spot. You're going to be like, ooh, this is it. I like this.
Yeah.
Everybody, and just like you say, just a guide. You know, we got to do it different ways. You know, I like to tell people that a wealthy person can tell you exactly how he did it. It doesn't mean you can do it just like that and get the same results.
Yeah. Gotcha. Man, I appreciate it. HogOn Welding, at HogOn Welding, Instagram, HogOn Welding, Facebook, right? Tell me if I'm wrong. HogOn Welding, LinkedIn, and then your webpage, your website, HogOn Welding.
www.hogonwelding.com.
Okay, so for anybody, so thanks Black Phoenix for joining us. I'm Kai, here in Austin, KBG Welding, at kbgwelding.com, Instagram, all that, the new channel, new YouTube channel. Check it out. We're just trying to push something, grow something, share something, like I said, with the community, with the future, with people that are here that are just learning the trade, open eyes to the consumer, all that. That's what we're trying to do. I want to pray for you real quick before we go.
Yes, bro. Hey, I appreciate it. Please do that.
Father God, I just lift up Brother Phoenix, and I thank you for him. I thank you for what you're doing in his life. I thank you for opening the windows of heaven and continue to bless him, Lord God. Pour out a blessing him and his family. Continue to give him spiritual downloads, Lord, as he walks through life and as he runs his business and as he shares you and as he shares through you, Lord God, and as you move in his life and you provide his every need. Father, I thank you for the example that he is. I thank you for the pioneer and the trendsetter that he is, Lord. I just thank you for keeping him and all he does, keeping him safe, keeping at peace, and providing his every need. In Jesus' name, amen. So amen. Thanks, y'all. Thanks, man. I'm gonna get this up, but just want to appreciate it. We're here. I'm gonna sign out with you, serving God and burning rods, brother.
Hey, I love it, man. Keep doing what you're doing. HogOn.
All right, brother.